Nathan's combat class with Jason had turned dangerous. Nathan never backed out of a fight, but today was personal.
One day, I'll make your father my slave and piss on him.
And that was when Nathan lost his cool. Little did Nathan know, it was a fatal mistake.
Headmaster, stop the duel!
Finally, evening fell over the city of Godricshall, and Nathan went with Amelia towards the Lightstone family compound near the center of town. The entrance was lit up brilliantly with hundreds of candles, as dozens of noble families poured inside. Amelia fidgeted anxiously as they waited in a lineup to get in. She frowned as she looked over at Nathan and realized that he stood empty-handed. "Oh, Nathan, did you forget to bring the High Mountain Snow Rose? After all that trouble, you better not have left it at home." Nathan smiled mischievously and then shrugged. "Rest assured, Amelia, I've got it with me, in a way." "What do you mean, in a way? Where are you hiding it?" "Rest assured, I've brought with us a present that will make you proud, so don't look so embarrassed." "I'm not embarrassed. You're embarrassed." "Amelia?" Okay, fine. Maybe I'm a little nervous, that's all. I've been to a party this opulent before, and Sir Ian would be disappointed if we didn't bring the flower after all that mischief at the shop. Don't worry. I guarantee you he won't be disappointed with what I've brought." Before Amelia could respond, the line sped up and they were soon led by servants into the main hall of the Lightstone family's compound. Door creaks open. Festive bard music begins. The space blew both Hayfield siblings away with its sheer opulence. Candles lit up the high ceilings of the hallway in a variety of rich-colored hues. Jesters, snake charmers, fire-eaters, and acrobatic dancers attracted large crowds of nobles, while servants set down an endless number of silver dishes onto long rows of silk-draped tables. Meanwhile, a troupe of bards played festive tunes on their flutes, drums, harps, and fiddles. Amelia and Nathan froze as they struggled to take it all in. The sounds and sights immediately overwhelmed them, as too did the smells of roasted duck, pheasant, pork, and lamb. "Nathan, Amelia, I'm glad to see you made it." Both siblings turned to see Sir Ian Lightstone approach and welcome them into the party. Nathan shook his head in amazement. "You sure weren't kidding when you said you were busy preparing for this." "No, I was not." Then Sir Ian awkwardly turned to face Amelia. "Hi, Amelia. I was wondering if you'd like to follow me around for a bit. You know, since most of these people here are noble classmates of my sister, you likely won't know most of them. Perhaps you'd like to meet my mother?" Sir Ian beamed at Amelia as she smiled back at him. He knew that if anyone could change his father's mind on the matter of his arranged marriage to Bella Godrickson, it would be his mother. "Perhaps I would, Sir Ian, although—" What's wrong, my lady?" "It seems my brother forgot to bring our gift tonight. I'm terribly ashamed. I wished to present it to your sister myself. I ought to have just given it to you when we were at the shop." Sir Ian frowned and placed a comforting hand on Amelia's shoulder. "Please, don't fret. You can always grab it later. Besides, I already told my mother you planned to give Donna the High Mountain Snow Rose, and she's already thrilled." "Is she really?" "I swear it, Amelia. Don't worry about it." Amelia smiled as she looked deeply into Sir Ian's eyes. Nathan nudged her in the shoulder. "Go on then, sis. You two have some fun. I'll be fine exploring the party myself." Amelia hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "Well, all right then. I'll see you later, Nathan." Amelia then took Sir Ian's hand, and together the two of them ran off into a back room somewhere at the end of the hall. Nathan sighed and casually strolled around the hall. Most noble houses could fit a large number of people, This one was particularly impressive. Well over 200 guests had already arrived, and the space wasn't even half full. Most of the guests gathered in groups of twos or threes and ran around the hall as they whispered and shouted dramatically. These were likely Donna's classmates from the Academy of the Ancient Edge, and Nathan did not know any of them as he passed by them on his own. Many of them whispered to each other as he passed, but he didn't bother listening to them as he stared at the ancient tapestries that told the story of House Lightstone. He did notice, however, that their accents and manner of dressing reflected the fact that many of them were from Harold's land, and not Godric's landers. Nathan vaguely remembered Sir Ian once mentioning that the Lightstones had many close ties to Harold's land, and that Donna's spiritual fighting academy was based there. Finally, his attention refocused on a few hostile gazes aimed at him from the Harold's Land warriors. Word of his duel with Boris had already traveled far, it seemed. Nathan sighed as he channeled the power of Asura and began to listen in on what exactly they were whispering about. The young warriors of Harold's Land stared daggers into Nathan Hayfield from across the massive party hall. Nathan closed his eyes as spiritual energy pooled around his eardrums, and he was able to make out their voices over the ambient beats of the festive music. "Who's that strange young warrior over there? He's not from Harold's Land like us, is he? Must be a local Godric's lander. I don't think he went to the academy with us. I heard he's the son of a fallen noble, a weak clan known as House Hayfield. Apparently, they're on the verge of losing their noble title altogether." "What? So you're saying he'll be nothing more than a commoner in a couple of days? What's he doing here, then?" "I heard House Hayfield has to face up against the High House Raven in a series of challenge duels. Perhaps they're here to try to get close to the Lightstones and declare themselves as vassals to them." "Huh. What a leech, then, if that's the case. The weak ought to leave the strong alone at a time like this." Nathan balled his hands into a fist as he listened to the whispered words from across the room. "Those fools. Well, no matter. At least they don't actually know about Boris or Hagar. Otherwise, I suspect they'd all be lining up to fight me if they knew what really happened this morning." It was true that amongst the aristocratic offspring present at the party, Nathan and Amelia were perhaps the least revered. Although they were still nobles, many of the youths present in the Lightstone's mansion were from prominent houses in Harold's Land that boasted hundreds of attendants and many legendary warriors in the prime of their lives. Many of the youths were here because of their close friendships with Donna Lightstone, but many others were present only to compete for her affection. House Lightstone was a powerful ally to have, and many Harold's Land houses encouraged their young men to grow close to her for political ramifications. Now that these young men were in Donna's presence, they wished to prove their might and strength in front of her, and saw Nathan as a potential threat. Nathan opened his eyes as he heard the footsteps of 3 particularly hot-blooded youths who strode up with a desire to test him. Nathan tried his best not to roll his eyes or chuckle at their appearances. "Ha! These poor little fools are puffed up like peacocks. Each one of them must imagine themselves gallant warrior fighting to defend Donna's honor, but in reality, they just look ridiculous." Clearly, the 3 boys had been drinking wine throughout the night, building up the courage to ask for Donna's favor. Now that Nathan had disturbed their concentration, they sought to take out their anxious energy on him. Nathan knew that if it came to it, he'd go easy on them, considering how pathetically weak their spiritual fighting levels actually appeared to be. "Hey, you, Godric's lander. I've never seen you before. What are you doing here?" The 3 boys stopped short of Nathan as he yawned and turned away from them. He could feel them jeering at him from over his shoulder. "What's wrong there, fellow? Too chicken to even face us like a man? What's a spineless coward like you doing in the noble halls of a family like this?" Nathan simply reached for a pastry on a silver tray and took a bite. His soul had already lived a long adult life in his past world, and had matured beyond such childish behavior. Some harmless banter meant nothing to him. Nathan went to grab another pastry when the leader of the group smacked it out of his hands and got up in Nathan's face.
"Are you deaf? I've spoken to you thrice now, and I won't speak to you again before my blade is drawn. I'll not have you disgrace Lady Lightstone with your low-born stench."
Nathan sighed and turned to properly face the group of young men for the first time.
"I'm simply minding my own business, and I suggest you mind yours as well. At the very least, go bump chests with another young buck looking to impress. I've no interest in you." "Oh, yeah? But what if I have interest in you, knave?"
Nathan frowned as the red-faced leader's arm went to his sword hilt. He hated the thought of having to hospitalize any more friends of the Lightstones, but he knew he couldn't stand there and let the fool run him through. As Nathan crouched into a defensive stance, he waited for the leader to draw his blade. Instead, a figure came up behind the leader and grabbed his sword arm. "Oh, no. I wouldn't do that if I were you." The anger in the leader's face drained immediately as he turned to see Hagar Haroldson beside him. In a matter of seconds, all three youths bowed their heads toward the heir apparent of their fiefdom.
"My Lord Hagar, I'm sorry, sire. I didn't recognize you. But what has happened? You walk slowly now and wince from the pain."
Riding accident. That is all. However, I would strongly recommend you boys leave this one here alone. I know him well, and it's best if you don't." Reluctantly, the youths nodded toward Hagar and abruptly turned away from Nathan, puffing up their chests as they went off in search of other ways to prove their toughness, bitterly whispering about Nathan's lucky break. Nathan sighed as Hagar smiled at him. "Nice to see you again, Nathan Hayfield. It's been forever, hasn't it?" "Several hours, at least. How are your wounds mending?" "Your sister's bandages and healing poultice worked wonders. Since then, I've been chugging back vials of basic healing potions and praying to the heavens that I'll stop coughing up blood soon." "Apologies for that. Your kinsman's words hit a nerve, and now that it is over, I regret how harsh I was with you about rushing to his aid." "Nonsense. Think no more of it. Horace had a boating accident and is recovering nicely with the healers." "Thank you, Hagar. I'm actually quite glad to have you here, as I barely know anybody." "Oh, really? You're in luck then, because I know almost everybody. Come along with me." Hagar threw a hand over Nathan's shoulder and led him towards the center of the room. The three hot-headed youths shied away from them as they passed. "Thick-headed fools. I hope you don't mind me saving their lives. After all, I doubt you're in the mood to fight more Heraldslanders already." I don't mind at all. Thank you for that. I'll consider it as a part of my birthday present to the host." Both of them knew that had Hagar not intervened, the party would have been horrendously disrupted, since Nathan would have had no other choice but to strike the three fools down. Donna Lightstone's 18th birthday party would have never recovered from the scandal, so Nathan was relieved he didn't have to cause a scene and further strain his relationship with the Lightstones before he could give them their gift. Here, let's sit here and rest a minute. I'm wiped out from this morning. Have a drink with me. Here, allow me. I ought to pour a drink for the man who floored me with a single strike." Nathan smiled as he sat across from Hagar and accepted a goblet of spiced mead from him. Together, they listened to the bards play and sipped on the delicious brew. Nathan was surprised by Hagar's easygoing nature. Despite the severe wounds to his chest, Hagar laughed and joked as if there had never been any bad blood between them. "Cheers to living on to fight another day, hopefully against someone weaker than you." Cheers." Hagar took a long chug of his mead, then wiped his mouth and wagged his finger at Nathan. "I've asked around about you, Nathan, and I must say,
You're a mystery. What a low-country noble son from the middle of nowhere being so strong and confident. What can I say? I train hard. Impressively hard from the looks of it. My father's men have told me all about your training. At least they found one woman from your town who claimed to know a lot about you. Nathan laughed and nearly gagged on his mead. Hilda Moonweaver certainly loves to claim she knows things about me. She had a few good things to say, I hope. She certainly was impressed with your performance during the spiritual warrior examinations. Something about how you made her a lot of money at the gambling stalls, called you a champion plucked straight from the heavens and sent down here to make her rich. Hilda does love to over-exaggerate. Hagar leaned forward with a serious expression for the first time. Oh, I don't think she's exaggerating at all. With your strength, I don't think you'll have any trouble at all beating the High Lord Raven's house during the challenge. I think, in a few days, your title will be Nathan, son of the High Lord Hayfield. Oh, really? You'd be in the minority then. Most people I listen to think I'm headed straight for the poorhouse. To hell with what they say. I'm saying you will win, and I wish to support you in this. Obviously, I can't send my men into the fray, but should you need anything at all, you need only say the word. After this, Hagar took a deep gulp of mead and finished off his goblet. Nathan nodded at Hagar and smiled at his sincerity. Perhaps they could become allies after all. Nathan looked deeply at Hagar as he brushed clean the whiskers growing around his lip that would one day form a hardy beard. He searched Hagar's soul for any ill intent, but found nothing there. I appreciate your friendship, Hagar. I will let you know if I need to call upon your help. Nathan offered out a hand to Hagar, and as Hagar shook his hand, Nathan released the Asura weakening aura spell that had cursed Hagar since this morning. A burst of wind washed over them out of nowhere, and Hagar almost jolted out of his seat as his eyes widened in shock. Suddenly, his shoulders relaxed, and he seemed far more comfortable than he had been previously. His movements were far less stiff, and the creases on his brow began to soften. Don't fret. I just helped you out is all. Your wounds ought to heal up even faster now. Hagar smiled devilishly towards Nathan as he refilled his goblet from a nearby pitcher. I don't know what that was, but it sure felt amazing. I thank you for it. In a moment, I will toast to your good health and to the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Before Hagar could hold up his goblet to cheer Nathan, Amelia burst back into the main hallway with tears in her eyes. Nathan frowned and held up a hand to Hagar before racing over to see what the matter was with his sister. Amelia, what's wrong? Did something happen? Amelia tried her best to mask her tears from her brother, as she hid behind a pillar to avoid any prying eyes. Finally, she met Nathan's concerned gaze and sighed. No, brother, it's nothing. The High Lord Lightstone and his wife were nothing but cordial with me. But then they told me the truth about Sir Ian, about how he's already engaged, and there's nothing he can do about it. Nathan sighed. At least nobody had bullied or harmed her. In many ways, it was noble of the Lightstones to admit the truth to her, and not seek to hide the situation, since her interest in Sir Ian was so obvious. I'm sorry, sis. You shouldn't have to go through that. It's just not fair. I wish I could speak to Bella Godrickson myself. Perhaps, if I could just explain to her the situation, I don't know. Amelia broke down once more, sobbing into her hands as Nathan gently rubbed her back and tried his best to calm her down. Before Nathan could think of anything else to say, the bard's music abruptly ended. An attendant of House Lightstone dropped his trumpet to his side and declared loudly for the entire room to hear, Lords and ladies, please take your seats. Lady Donna Lightstone's birthday ceremony is about to begin. After the attendant announced the beginning of the ceremony,
The bards ceased playing the festive music, and dozens of other attendants rushed into the room and urged the guests of House Lightstone to find a seat amongst the many dozens of long tables positioned throughout the great hall. Nathan sat down next to Amelia, who did her best to wipe away her tears and look presentable. The attendant with the trumpet then bellowed out for all to hear. "Presenting the Lady Donna Lightstone, a noble woman of 18 years. Hundreds of guests cheered and clapped as Donna Lightstone, a woman clad in a white dress, came out of the back rooms and entered the main hall. She is accompanied by her father, the High Lord Lightstone, and her mother, Lady Cecilia Lightstone. Entering beside Donna was her big-bearded father, Lucius, and her unusually pale-skinned mother, Cecilia. Finally appearing from behind them all was Sir Ian and his younger brother, Stuart Lightstone. As the Lightstone family took their seats at the front table before the entire hall, Sir Ian couldn't help but scan the tables anxiously for Amelia. He knew that she had run off crying from their discussion, and if it weren't for the fact that the ceremony had begun, he'd have raced off to console her himself. All he could do now was search for her amongst the sea of family friends and guests. "Damn it all. I'm sick of all these rules and manners. It's the very thing that's keeping us apart. If only we were peasants in the country, then all this politicking and fussing about wouldn't mean anything." Finally, his eyes found her beside Nathan. Her puffy cheeks and red eyes confirmed her past mood, although she stood calmly beside her brother and did her best to hide her true emotions. Despite the horrendous situation they found themselves in, she didn't wish to worry Sir Ian more than she already had, so she did everything she could to appear strong in front of him. Before Sir Ian could dwell on the matter any longer, his father, the High Lord Lightstone, clanged a carving knife against a silver goblet. Immediately, the murmurs and whispers throughout the room grew silent. Lucius Lightstone cleared his throat. "As you all know, it is the night of my only daughter's 18th birthday, and we are all thrilled to host our many friends and family members. As the ceremony begins, please remain seated until it is time for the giving of gifts. Thank you." Lucius sat back down as the Lightstone family's priest began an incantation towards the heavens while everyone closed their eyes. Nathan sighed and knew the ceremony would likely take longer than he'd initially expected. Typically, when a noble's child reaches the age of 18, then they are fully considered an adult of the realm. They conduct a similar ceremony to ensure the heavens are praised for their favor. However, for most noble houses, this would take a little over half an hour at the most. Due to the Lightstone's powerful political position, and the fact that they had invited over so many guests to watch the ceremony, this was likely going to take at least 2 or 3 hours. Nathan tried hard not to yawn as the priest proceeded to lead his audience through a series of chants, lecture on the importance of the virtues of nobility, and bless Donna with a sprinkling of divine water. It wasn't that the heavens weren't worthy of respect, rather, simply the fact that Nathan found the priest to be incredibly dull in his manner of speaking. Occasionally, Nathan would steal glances over towards his sister and see her locking eyes with Sir Ian as they traded forlorn looks with each other. Nathan sighed, and as he pondered what to do about it, he chuckled at the sight of Hagar across the room, feigning sleep in order to make him laugh. At this point, even Donna herself looked ready for a nap. After almost 2 hours had passed, Nathan's eyes had long glazed over, and he'd almost forgotten where he was, when a loud sound shook him out of his pondering thoughts. The trumpeter took the place of the priest and spoke to the subdued crowd. "Please cheer for Lady Donna Lightstone, a noble woman of the realm." The trumpeter sighed at the weak applause, then turned to face Donna herself. "It is time for the giving of gifts. Line up at once, as the good lady shall receive you now." Immediately, the peacocking youths from lower houses looking to secure a courtship with Donna rushed towards the front, jockeying for positions and lightly elbowing one another. One by one, The anxious suitors appeared before her with their luxurious gifts that they had meticulously prepared.
My lady, please accept this ancient bowl from over 1,000 years ago. Its beauty is but a single drop of rain within the stormy weather that is your gorgeousness. In other words, you're very pretty. My dear lady, please see the finest silks in all of Harold's land. I have brought you the very best of them, and more can be yours if you would consider me for your hand in marriage. My dear lady, please consider me for your hand in marriage. I have brought you fine, handcrafted saddles for the many horses you might ride beside me in Harold's land. Lady, please ignore those puffed-up fools. I give to you what you might truly desire, a box of the finest makeup in all of Calandria, with ivory combs to use on your magnificent hair. Perhaps you might wish to use it on our wedding day.
Nathan couldn't help but stifle a chuckle as the many suitors' pleas grew more and more ridiculous. The frantic competition between the noble boys was clearly amusing Donna Lightstone as well, while her father, Lucius, groaned from embarrassment on the boys' behalf. Although this was one of the only instances where noble lads could announce their intentions, many of them did so with poor style or overly theatrical pomposity. Even Amelia's mood improved as Nathan motioned for them to get into the back of the line of gifts and watch the circus of suitors pass by.
Come on, sis. We better get in line. Are you sure? I thought you said you left the snow rose at home. No. Actually, I've got it. Just wait and see.
However, as the line moved up, Amelia started to grow nervous once more. Even with the rarity of the high mountain snow rose, the gifts that the other noble families were offering were of much finer quality. The paper-thin gold packaging on many of the fancier presents alone was worth more than what they had paid for the snow rose. After learning of Sir Ian's situation, Amelia fretted that presenting a mediocre gift to the family would win them no favors. On top of this, Nathan seemed to have left it behind, yet was now revealing he somehow had it with him.
What do you mean you've got it? I don't see a package or a box. Where is it? Just trust me. You'll see. Oh, damn it, Nathan. I hate it when you're like this.
As they neared the front of the line, the gift-giving ceremony was drawing to a close. All of the wealthy suitors had already given out their presents, and the only folks left in line around them were the House Lightstone family members. Most of these people barely knew Donna directly, so they offered up mediocre presents so as to honor the family without breaking the bank. Amelia squirmed in the line as they moved up again. She'd caught Sir Ian's attention and realized that he was staring at her with a puzzled expression. He mimed the words, "What are you doing?" towards her. She could only shrug. Nathan smiled as he saw the exchange, and then tugged on Amelia's shirt.
Sis, come on. It's our turn now.
As they stood in front of Donna Lightstone and the rest of her immediate family at the front table, Nathan pulled out a glowing green potion vial from his pocket and held it out to them for all to see. Congratulations on your 18th birthday, Lady Donna. House Hayfield wishes to present to you a powerful medicinal potion as a token of our appreciation. Donna squinted at the vial and reluctantly took it from Nathan as he beamed at her. Donna Lightstone had always been incredibly close with her two brothers, so Sir Ian had already informed her that the Hayfields planned to give her a high mountain snow rose. Now that she was receiving some unknown potion instead of a flower, she was more than a little perplexed. Despite this, Donna was an honorable girl and did not reveal her confusion out loud.
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.